Hi everyone, how you doing? My name is Mimi. In case this is the first time you're logging in and doing yoga with me, welcome. I teach classes for Thunder Mist every second and fourth Wednesday, but you can always log back in. If you missed one of these classes, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Thunder Mist YouTube channel. So you could watch these at any time. And if you like the practice, you could do it again and again and again. All right. So for tonight's practice, you don't need anything special. Your mat, or you could even get away with not using a mat if you have a towel or a rug, or even the floor wouldn't be too bad. I'm going to be using these, which are called yoga blocks. But if you don't have yoga blocks, you could go ahead and improvise by getting a few thick books or a pillow. So there's one part of the practice where if you had like a nice, thick, hefty pillow that you could put underneath your lower back, that would be useful. And that's actually where we're going to start. So we're going to come on to our backs. And you can have your books nearby or your blocks and that pillow nearby. So go ahead and come on down to your back. You can bend your knees and rest the soles of your feet on the floor. And just taking a few moments to feel the back of the body make contact with the floor below you. And then if you don't have that thick pillow or block to put under your lower back, you could just stay just like this. If you've got something you can slide under there, you're going to push into your feet and lift your pelvis up. And then allow the back of the body to settle downward and relax onto whatever you've got propping you up. So you want to take that block or that cushion or pillow, and you want to slide it more towards your tailbone than have it be at your lower back, even though I said lower back before. Or more on the back of your pelvis, again, rather than the curvy part of your lower back or the lumbar spine. And then you can relax your arms down by your side and flip your palms up towards the ceiling. Or you might want to just kind of softly drape your arms backwards in space. So soft bend to the elbows, fingers curling a little bit inward as the hands relax. And see if you can just begin to slow everything down, including your breath, and maybe the part that's the most difficult, slowing down the thoughts and everything circulating around in your head and your mind. And begin to deepen your breath. And see if every time you let the breath go, each and every exhale, you can feel your body get heavier and relax more fully into the floor below. And as you breathe, see if that flow of the breath in and out of your body can become all consuming, so that whatever else you've got going on, whatever worries, whatever frustrations, even just general like busyness begins to subside, and the focus is solely only on the breath. And then without doing anything else, so whatever position your arms are in, you could keep them there, or you might make a little adjustment if they feel uncomfortable in any way. But all you're going to do is just turn your head to the right. Just turning your head, remaining in the same position. And then with your head turned in that direction, you might kind of nod it a little bit, or rotate it, or kind of test the exact placement until you find an alignment that really feels kind of bright and rich on that left-hand side of your neck. Maybe even imagining the breath moving in and out to that side of your neck. And then let your gaze come up towards the ceiling. And you're going to turn your head all the way to look at the other shoulder. And taking a few breaths here. Steady, easy breath. Again, imagining the breath moving in and out through the right-hand side of your neck. And then turn your head to face the ceiling, and you're going to walk your feet in a little bit closer to one another. You're going to stay up on that blocker pillow, but again, if you don't have it, you could do these same moves without it. You're going to pick up your right knee and draw that knee in towards your belly. And you can go ahead and circle your ankle and point and flex your toes. Yeah. And then you're going to stay holding on to that knee, and you're going to reach your opposite leg up towards the ceiling. Good. So reach through that foot, draw your right knee closer to your belly, and then keep holding on to your right knee and float that left heel all the way down to the floor, just opening up the front of the hip. So if you've been sitting in a chair throughout the day, you might find this really useful. When you sit in a chair all day, the hips are in that bent position, legs at a right angle, and then when you stand up, you might find that your lower back hurts, your hips hurt. I'm trying to reverse some of that compression that happens throughout the day. Good. You can lower your right foot down. And as you do that, go ahead and switch and just bring that left knee in towards your belly. And squeeze it in tight against your belly. And again, you can circle your ankle, maybe point and flex some. And then send your right leg up towards the ceiling for just a moment. And then while squeezing that left knee towards your belly, begin to reach through the right heel very, very, very slowly and float that leg all the way down to the floor so that the heel lands, the leg can relax. Take a few moments here. Good, and then lower that left foot down. You can bend your right foot or bend your right knee, and you're just gonna lift up and you're gonna slide that block or pillow out from underneath you and just allow your backside, allow your lower back to come into contact with the floor and just feel that. Notice the places where you feel connection, the feet, the outer hips, the behinds, lower back. Notice where you feel connected in the upper back, behind the shoulders, the back of the skull. And see if as you exhale, you can sink more heavily, sink more fully into those points of connection. And then reach your arms out like a T and open your feet nice and wide if they're not already there. And then without moving your feet any closer together, you're going to drop both knees over to the right as you spin your head to look over the left shoulder. And then come back to the center and drop your knees over to the left as you look over your right shoulder. And then go back and forth like that a little bit, side to side. And swinging the legs side to side, rolling the head side to side, giving yourself a massage in the back of the skull, back of the hips, lower back. Good, and then bring your knees so that they're facing the ceiling and your feet are firmly on the floor. And then cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And just let your legs fall down and over to the left. And allow your legs to feel nice and heavy. So just try to see if you can let go of the pushing of that left thigh and just rely on the weight of your legs and gravity to do the opening. Again, opening up front of the thigh, front of the hip on that right side. And then inhale and come back up. And as you uncross your legs, you're going to set that left foot down wide. You're going to take your right ankle and cross it over. And then let your legs fall down and over to the right. And again, see if you can allow for a kind of heavy, weighty quality. Bones of the legs doing the opening. So rather than pushing with your right ankle, you're just getting into this sense of the legs dropping. Take a few more breaths. Bring the legs up. Uncross the legs. Bring your hands to your belly and just take a few moments to rest and feel. Good. And then we're going to roll on over to the right-hand side. Steer your way up to a seat. And we're going to come to hands and knees to start. And then we're coming directly into child's pose. So you're going to bring your big toes together, your knees apart. You're going to sit your hips back towards your heels and bow down. And from this position, just take a few deep breaths behind the heart. Take a few more moments here. And then lifting your head up just enough for clearance, you're going to walk both hands over to the right. Settle the forehead back down. Maybe reach a little bit further with that left arm so that you emphasize and brighten the stretch along the left-hand side of your body. Good, and then come on back through the center and over to the other side. So you're gonna walk both arms over, and then maybe you stretch a little bit more fully with that right arm so that you emphasize the sensation along the rib cage on that side. And then come on up to a tabletop. Good. From your tabletop, and then go ahead and send your right leg back into the sky or the air. So go ahead, reach that leg back, level up your hips, hold here. And then eventually you might reach the left arm forward. Holding steady and still. A couple more moments. And then lower your hand down. You're going to take your right leg and swing it out to the side. Okay. So you're on this tabletop with your leg out to the side, and you can decide what the best angle is for your foot. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little cat-cow, but we're going to do a variation with our leg out to the side. So starting with your cow stretch, you're going to dip your belly down and pull your shoulders back, opening up the front of the body. And as you exhale, you're going to round and you're going to sit your hips back. You can come on to the heel of the right foot. Good, and then round your way up. Dip your belly down, open up the front of the body. And then as you exhale, round, flex through that right foot and sit your hips back. Good. And then go ahead and do that a few more times. All right, the next time you sit your hips back, you're going to stay there. So you're going to pull your hips back, flex through that foot, and settle in for a hold. You might come down onto your forearms. You might let your head go. Keep flexing through that right foot. few more moments. Good, and then crawl your way up and bring your leg back in. All right. We're going to walk our hands forward. We're going to tuck our toes under and come into a downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under and lift up and back. And once in your downward facing dog, take a little time to play. You can open your feet wider. You can bend your knees. Shift your belly and your heart back towards your thighs. And then begin to walk your hands backwards towards your feet. Soften your knees and let your upper body drape down over your thighs. And then press into your feet. Sweep your arms high and wide. And then just bring your hands to your heart and pause there for a moment. Good. I'm going to turn to face you. You could stay where you are on your mat. All right, so you're going to make your feet a little bit wider. You're at the back of your mat. And you're going to go ahead and open your arms wide. Okay. You're going to take that right arm and you're going to wrap it around to touch your left arm. And then you're going to pull back like you're pulling on a bow and return to your starting place. And you're just going to continue to do that. So the twist and the stretch is happening in the upper body. Reaching across and then opening up. And just go back and forth like that a few more times, keeping the lower body as stable as possible. And let this be your last one. And then relax your arms down. Good. Bring your hands at your heart. I'm going to do a half sun salutation and walk our way to a downward facing dog. So inhale, sweep your arms up. And exhale, bow your way down. Inhale to straight legs and a flat back. And then exhale, soften your knees enough that you can bring your hands to the floor and walk yourself forward. Spread your palms. Soften your knees and send your belly back in space. You're going to dip your knees to the floor and find a child's pose. So bring your big toes together, your knees can go wide, and bow down. Few big breaths here. All right, let's come to the other side. So coming on up into your tabletop. And send your left leg back behind you. Pause, make sure the hips are level to the floor. And then reach your right arm forward. Hold for a few breaths. And then lower your hand down, swing your leg out to the side. And again, you can decide the angle of your foot, whatever helps you to move through the flow most easily. So you'll start with a cow stretch. You'll dip your belly down towards the floor, pull your shoulders back. And then as you exhale, round and sit your hips back towards your heel as you flex through that left foot. And then keep it up. Coming forward, dipping the belly down, opening the heart. And then exhaling and rocking your hips back towards your heel. Few more. Just moving through this flow. Nice and easy. And the next time you sit your hips back towards your heels, stay there. You might settle down onto your forearms. You could even have your forearms on a block. Flex through that left heel. So kind of pushing through that heel, emphasizing the opening of the leg. Good, and then curl yourself forward again. Gonna bring that knee in. And we're gonna find downward facing dog again. So hands walk forward, fingertips spread. Tuck your toes under and lift up and back. Good. And then begin to walk your feet up towards your hands. And you're gonna just roll yourself right up to standing. Good. And we're gonna do a little rolling up and down. So bringing hands to your thighs. You're gonna loop your shoulders back, lean back, and open up the heart, chest, and throat. And then you're gonna sit back, almost like you're sitting in a chair, and just let your upper body flow over your thighs. And then roll yourself up. Loop your shoulders back. Open up. Heart, chest, throat. And then sit your hips back. And let your upper body flow down over your thighs. And just keep it up. You might even begin to get more expressive with your arms. You might vary up the movement some in a way that serves you better, that feels better in your body. And the next time you roll down, let's stay there for a few moments. Once again, you might open your feet so that they're closer to the edges of your mat. You might bring your blocks in to rest your hands. Just hang out here. A few more breaths. And then roll yourself up. So if you've got those blocks or those books, it would be helpful if you bring them towards the front of your mat. And you can bring them right on the other side of your ankles. And bring your hands to your heart. And we'll begin. So inhale, you're going to sweep your arms up in a big wide circle. And then you're going to exhale and fold your way down. Inhale, hands come mid-shin and the heart and the head reach forward. And then you're going to bring your hands to your blocks and the left foot's going to step back. Good. Bend deeper into that right knee. You can change the height of your blocks if you have them. They could be high or low. You don't have as many options if you're using books. Take a couple moments, press through your back heel. And then straighten your front leg. Bow yourself forward. Reach your heart towards your big toe. Take a couple more moments here. Good, and then rebend into that right knee. The left hand can come down to a block or the floor, and that right arm's going to sweep up. Coming into a twist. Take a few more moments here. Good. Lower both hands to the floor or your supports, and then you're just going to step that left foot up. Roll yourself up. And once you land, take a few shoulder rolls. Take a few shoulder rolls backwards. And a few shoulder rolls forward. Good. And then go ahead and reach your arms up towards the ceiling and just stretch side to side. So reaching with one arm and then the other, side to side. Good. And then reach up. Have your palms face each other. Relax your shoulders down. Take a couple breaths. And then you're going to catch your left or right wrist with your left hand. Give a little pull and then reach up and over. Take some time here. Tug of the hands, helping to open up that side body. And then inhale up. You're going to switch sides. So take hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Give a little tug up and then over. And then inhale up and float your arms down. Take a hand to your belly. Take a hand to your heart. Pause here. Couple of breaths. All right, let's do the other side. So you're up at the front of your mat. You've got blocks on either side of you. Hands at your heart. And you begin. Inhale, sweep your arms. And exhale, a deep bow forward. Inhale, straight legs and a flat back. And then bring hands to your blocks. This time you're stepping your right foot back. And wiggle your way into a nice deep lunge if you didn't land there right away. Lift through the heart and the collarbone. And then shift your hips back. And come into straight-legged runner stretch. So reach your heart forward. A few more moments here. Good, and then bend deeply into that left knee. The right hand can come down to the block or floor, and the left arm is going to sweep up. One more breath. Good. Lower your hands down again, and you're just simply going to step that right foot back or up and roll yourself up. Take a breath in and let it go. Let's all turn to the sides of our mats. Open your feet nice and wide. And then bringing hands to your hips, you're going to turn your right toes towards the short end of your mat. And then turn your left toes in just a little bit in that direction. Good. And release your right hand from your hip. Sweep it up and lean back. Good. And you might experiment looking up towards the ceiling or maybe towards your back heel. Notice how that brings a really different sensation to the neck, depending on what you choose. And then come on up. Good. And turn that palm to face the floor. And you're going to reach forward, reach forward, reach forward as far as you can. And then lower your hands on your shin, or maybe it's your thigh. Roll your chest open and release that left arm towards the ceiling. Hold for another breath. One more moment. And rise. You're just going to swivel around and do the other side. So just swivel under your feet, turning that left foot out towards the short side of your mat. Right toes are going to turn a little bit in. You can keep that right hand on your hip. Reach up and back. Good. Support yourself by leaning into that right hand. Legs are strong. Energy drawing upwards towards those left fingers. Good. And then bring that left arm level with the floor. Flip the palm over. Reach, 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 reach. And then the hand comes down. Roll your chest open if you'd like. Maybe that arm comes to the ceiling. Take another moment here. And then come on up. Good. You're gonna step right up to the front of your mat. We're gonna move those blocks out of the way. Bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep them up high and wide. Exhale, pour yourself forward. Inhale, extend. And then soften your knees enough that your hands can plant on the floor and you'll walk backwards to a downward facing dog. And then rock yourself forward to a high plank. You can stay with knees up off the floor, or you might tap your knees down. Holding yourself here for a few moments, shoulders above the wrist, tailbone tucked in. One more breath. And you lower to your belly. Move your blocks out of the way. Bring your hands underneath your forehead. Bend your knees. And ascend your legs from side to side. Then lower your legs down. Bring your hands into position. Wrap your elbows in and roll your shoulders back. Try to maintain that position. Try to resist pushing on your hands and lift your chest for a cobra. Keep lengthening for the legs, lengthening for the toes. Stay soft in the face and the neck. Another moment. Lower down. And bring either cheek to the floor. Relax for the hips and the behind. And then take your chin to the floor again. And the same setup, you're going to roll your shoulders back. You're going to draw them into the back body, draw the elbows in along the rib cage, maintain that quality, and lift up without pressing on your hands. Maybe you even lift your hands to make sure that you're not using them. Hold another moment. Lower down. And turn your head in the opposite direction. If you were clenching around the butt or the hips, try to release. And then push yourself back to a tabletop and right on back into a child's pose. Hips sink all the way back to the heels. Few breaths here. And then come on to our backs. And you're going to take that block or that pillow. Book might not feel so good. You're going to bring it by your side as you come on down. And you're going to bend your knees, have the soles of your feet on the floor. Take a few moments coming back to this place where we began. And then press into your feet. Lift your behind up off the floor and slide that block underneath you. And let the weight of your body settle down onto the block. Now this time, if you'd like, you can stay right here. You might pick up your feet and have your knees bent and your legs dangling. Or you might try sending your feet up towards the ceiling. So if you don't have a pillow or block or anything to slide under you, you could do this on the floor and bring both hands underneath the back of your pelvis or your butt. And then bring your knees in. You can stay right there or bring your legs up towards the ceiling. Good, and we'll hang out in whatever shape you've taken. You can always bring your feet back to the floor if that feels best. And take a little time. Hang out here for about 5 more breaths. Again, you can have your feet dangling or feet planted on the floor. If your feet are planted on the floor, maybe you want to experiment with resting your hands on your belly. And that's all. Bring our feet to the floor. Press into our feet. And remove that block. And set it off to the side. And then you can walk your feet in a little bit closer to one another. And just like we did at the beginning of class on the block, you're going to keep your left foot on the floor and you're going to bring your right knee in. And again, maybe there's a little bit of swirling around the ankle or pointing and flexing the foot. And then eventually you're going to let go with your left hand. You're going to use your right hand to steer your leg outward. So you're taking your knee and drawing it both out and back towards your underarm. Then you can stay like this, or you might take your hands and bring it to the inner arch of your foot and send your foot up towards the ceiling. Good. If you're holding onto your foot, there's a little bit of downward pressure. And then notice if you're pressing and just kind of toppling right over like I am now. And if that's the case, you're going to try to rock yourself back and plant that left-hand side of your behind down as well. Take another breath here. And then come back to squeezing that knee right into your belly. Now you're going to straighten that left leg. See if you can push through the left heel. At the same time, you're drawing that knee in towards your belly. Good. And then take your hand across and let your right arm go wide. And you're going to come into a twist. So taking that leg right across. Try to relax the right shoulder down. Take a few breaths here. Another few moments. And then you're going to come onto your back. So just allow yourself to extend. Relax your arms by your side. Let your legs sprawl. And just feel this brief pause within your practice. Maybe you notice that your right leg and hip feel really different than your left leg. Maybe there's something else that's speaking to you more clearly. And then begin to bend your knees and bring the soles of your feet to the floor. And draw your knees in towards your belly again. Rock a little, side to side. Good, and then hold on to your left knee and lower your right foot down. And again, there might be a little time playing with your ankle, pointing, flexing, wiggling toes. And then relax your right arm by your side. Use your left hand to take that left knee out to the side and up towards your underarm. Hang out here. And then maybe you take your hand to your inner arch of your foot and send your foot up towards the ceiling. Keep allowing your weight to rock downward. More breaths. Good, and then squeeze your knee in towards your belly. Extend your right leg long. And we're going to come into a twist. So you take that right hand across, let the left arm go wide, and come into a twist. Few more moments. And then release. Onto your back, stretch your legs long, relax your arms by your side. And just take a couple breaths here. And then listen to your body. Notice if you're feeling drawn to stay in this shape, sprawled out on the floor. Maybe you feel like you've reached the end of your practice or reached the end of the moving part of your practice and you're ready to come into stillness, or in yoga, what we call Shavasana. Or maybe you're still feeling the need for a little more stretch. If that's the case, you might bring your knees in towards your belly and rock a little bit. And then just begin to explore. So the way you move doesn't need to fall in the category of a specific yoga pose that has a name and you've seen the book or magazine. You just try to just trust yourself that you know what is best for your body and allow yourself to move into types of stretches. Maybe wiggle about, anything at all that feels good. And again, option 2, just melt into stillness. That's always a good choice. We're going to hang out and whatever you've chosen for another minute or 2. And if you've chosen movement, maybe you begin to wind that down. And then wherever you're at, begin to deepen your breath. You draw a big breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment. And then open your mouth and with a big exhale, let it out. And you could do that again. So drawing the breath in through the nose and filling. And then open your mouth and exhale, let it out. And then bend your knees if they're not already bent. And you're going to roll off to the side and steer your way up to a seat. It might feel good to sit on a pillow, or if you've had a block, you can come into a cross-legged position or arrange your legs in any way that feels easy. And just bring your hands to your lap. Close your eyes. Just take a few deep cleansing breaths. Returning to that sense of connection to the ground below you. Especially feeling that on your exhales. And then draw palms together at your heart. And we'll simply end with a deep bow of gratitude and appreciation to one another. Thank you very much for being here with me this evening, or if you're watching this video another time and doing the practice then, I hope you enjoy it. And you can find me here doing yoga with Thunder Miss the second and the fourth Thursday of the month. Have a great rest of your evening, and I hope to see you soon.